Now I'd like to talk about a teacher progression board. I know it kind of sounds kind of funny. We have a daily progression board, we have a weekly progression board, and now what I'm going to show you is how the teacher can keep track of everything. So first off, let me talk about what I did. I like things fun and fancy. I want to make sure that I can find my little checklist, and plus it's going to help me to cover up the names of my students. So all I did is I went and bought a clipboard. I have a dry erase clipboard that I really like because it's easy to write on, and if I need to take notes, I can. Then I printed out a sheet that says teacher check-in, and I'm going to show you an example of this real quick so you can get an idea. But you're going to see here, as soon as I put my name on, do you see how now the kids can't see their names? It kind of like is blocked by the little fun ribbon. So the students, this is my teacher check-in. And I'm going to go over this and I'm going to put a screenshot so you can talk about this. I have the names of the students down the side, and then I have mini lessons. Mini lesson 1, mini lesson 2, mini lesson 3, mini lesson 4, mini lesson 5. Hopefully, in a week's time, I'm able to meet with every single one of my students during that mini lesson. Then I have exit tickets. If I'm doing essential questions, if I'm doing exit tickets with my students, if I'm doing a quick check at my mini lesson, then I'm going to write that down. I just put ET 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so on and so forth. I also have over here test scores. These could be like my district progress monitoring. It could be a test. It could be homework. It could be extra if they're doing a project. So basically in one line, I'm going to be able to keep track of everything that Thomas does in that 1 week. This is a weekly checklist for myself as the teacher to help make sure I'm meeting with every student, I'm seeing their progress, I'm monitoring what's happening. Okay, again, I'm going to put a link to this template if you would like it, and you can also see my example. Now let's talk about what's going to happen. I'm flipping this over here so you guys can see this. When I'm meeting with Thomas, and Thomas is my nephew, so it's kind of fun that I can use him as an example, I'm going to keep track of everything he's doing when he comes to my mini lesson. So in my mini lesson that day, I gave him a check and a check in a circle. So the check in a circle means I got it and he got it high. The next day, he got it. He didn't need any extra help. But then the following third mini lesson that I did with Thomas that day or that week, he got it, but he needed extra support. And then he totally missed it on the last day. So what I'm doing is I'm keeping track of Thomas's progress. And this is interesting. At first, he was really getting the concepts. But as he kept going through the week, he kept getting lower and lower. So you know what? I had to make sure by the end of the week, I could fill any holes and gaps that need to be done with him. Okay, let's take a look at this. So I have all my students' names. And what I'm going to do is after my first mini lesson, now I need the ribbons to disappear for a second. What I'm going to do after my mini lesson is I'm going to group all my students based off of the data that I collected. Anybody with a circle and a check mark, that means they were on the highest end of that concept, understood it right away. So I'm going to meet with them first the very next day. So based off of the data that I'm collecting my mini lesson, I'm going to then group my students for my next mini lesson the next day. So I'm looking at anybody who has the same thing. So for example, Aspen was absent. Actually, I think it was Denver. Denver was absent 2 days. So the very next day, I got to make sure that I get a hold of him, sit down with him, and talk to him about what was happening and does he understand the concepts? Did he complete his homework? Give him a one-on-one mini lesson to catch him up because he was missed 2 days. So having this data record is going to really help me to monitor the students, monitor their growth, and I'm going to actually use this data to group my students. Again, I'm going to put example of this one completed and in a blank teacher check-in on the blog post so you guys can grab a hold of this and you can use this. All right. So in this video, we went over a daily progression board with the students. We went over a weekly progression board with the students. And then the teacher check-in. How do I keep track of everything that's happening in my classroom, who I'm meeting with, how are the students progressing? And I'm going to start to use that data to drive my instruction. All right, guys. If you have any questions, let me know. And I hope the next time I come to your classrooms, you are implementing some form of a progression board. All right, thanks, guys.